in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good night, everyone, and get ready because it's time for the late chip at the video store.
Mike, I miss that intro on a Saturday morning. Like, honestly, nothing brightens my day more than seeing that. It gets me in the mood to have a really good time. It's uplifting, empowering, everything. Morning, good evening, good night. Just good to everyone. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Not too bad. It is the end of November. Nearly November. It is the end of October.
Yes.
So, down under, it should be somewhat sunny because we are the polar opposite. So if it's starting to be your like fall times, it should be our like spring heading into summer times. It is storming and disgusting and cold. So if I start glitching a little bit, like that's why. Because I have like a full load of washing on the line because it should be summer. The sun should be out, and it's not. Michael or someone back me up. Like, it is cold. Mike, how's your time been going? Thank you for keeping the video store running. We've had a few malfunctions lately, it seems. Like, the counter has not been able to be open for a while.
Yes. Everything's back on track now. It's a fun times ahead. Halloween is 3 days away, so it's good times.
If you're in our chat, give us a hi, hello, hey. We always like to see who we've got so we can interact with you, because that's just the best part of the show, is being able to interact with the chat and having guests come on. Now, Mike, I saw last week that we did thank you, Alan. Yes, it's cold and wet. It's cold and wet, and I'm just plain scared. Well, that's actually quite leads me into what we're saying. Jake, it's cold. Tell me it's cold there. It's Halloween times, and I didn't get to. Oh, we got Jack. Hi, everyone. We got Chris. I didn't get to give my opinions on what I've been watching for Halloween.
Yes.
Because I've been able to do a few. I don't get to do the thank you, Brian. So we've got that good meteorite insurance. Like, we should be good from now on. Thank you. I don't usually do the big lists or the 31 for 31, but I tag along with whoever's doing it. I know you've done a few, Ala does a few. I've got a lot of good horror fans in my life, so I like to plug those gaps, pick up those ones that I've been wanting to do. So, Mike, we watched Arsenic and Old Lace, which has been on my to-watch list just forever and a day. I love me some old Cary Grant. I love some Frank Capra. So that was one that it's always really nice when you're holding out for something and you watch it and it turns out to be even better than what you thought. Like, that's always just such a really nice feeling of like, oh, I found something that I'm going to enjoy for a long time now, like a bit of a hidden treasure that you're going to come back to. So I was very lucky to have that this Halloween season. And then the other one that I wasn't expecting to like so much, get ready for this one. So like, because I've got questionable taste sometimes. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original movie. So I was really expecting it to be like very low grade, I've seen the shorts and whatnot, but I just really cool. Tar, yep, saw that. I really liked I'm a sucker for I've got nostalgia goggles to the extreme. Like, I love my early 90s and everything. Like I said, you've been watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I'm like, I miss the 90s. I miss the music and the clothes and everything. So Buffy was just giving me that. I've just been in my very early 90s bubble lately. And that I just wasn't expecting even just the range of performances.
Yeah.
Because, Paul Rubens is playing it up to the extreme. But I finally watched that cheesiest death scene, like that. Good Paul. And then Donald Sutherland just playing it straight as straight could be. Like, this is a serious acting moment. I really enjoyed it. But let's get into today's topic. We've got throw that link in the chat.
Yes.
Mike, what I really love about having you as a co-host is that if I come to you and go like, Mike, this is what I want to do, you're like, yeah, like let's do it then.
I'll always try at least.
Like, because this could be seen as like something not so niche. Because, like, let's say we got Jeremy. I'll just make the blanket statement now. I think Batman's got the best rogues gallery. Like, he's got the best villains lineup. It's the biggest, the most diverse. There might be some other superheroes that maybe have a more like important niche couple, but Batman, for like the variety you're gonna get, is so great. And being one of the ones that really sort of introduced me to enjoying comic books, Batman's the biggest collection I would say I have, because you go back and you find those stories. So who's your favorite Batman villain? Pick the villain and then give us the examples maybe. So if it's Joker, give me a Jack Nicholson, give me a Heath Ledger, or go a comic storyline route. Is it a Death in the Family? Is it the Dark Knight? Like, absolutely. And just those, I knew that was coming. I'm like, Spider-Man's the close second. God damn. But I'm still saying Batman reigns supreme for the variety. Spider-Man's got a lot of tech-based villains. But yes, so Mike, can we bring someone on if they are around?
Yes, let's do that. We have
Good Jack.
Hey.
How you going, Dad?
Hey, how you doing?
Very good. Who is your favorite Batman villain and why?
I mean, you can't really tell because I've washed away all the makeup, but I dressed as my favorite Batman villain for my work's costume contest today. I went as Heath Ledger's Joker.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, still got some makeup here. But no, Heath Ledger's Joker, he's the villain that really introduced me to Batman as a character. It was the first Batman movie I saw. It really brought me into superhero movies outside of like the Wolverine and the X-Men. So yeah, no, I've always had a soft spot for Heath Ledger's Joker.
As an Australian, as a Western Australian in particular, this warms my heart. I remember working at the cinema when this was premiering, and my cinema was shutting down the last session of The Love Guru, like cancelling tickets just so we could stream this. And that was like one of the best things ever, because this was absolutely one of those theater experiences. I was 15, 16 at the time, being able to sit there and take all this in. And I'd watched The Batman Begins later, like I hadn't seen it in theater. I wasn't able to experience it, but I loved Batman and Robin as well. Like on DVD, we've watched that shit to death. But this is definitely like that turning point, like what you're saying, like this is big cinematic reintroduction to the Joker, and has been what's defined it, and I think will continue to. I mean, you don't get that best supporting actor for nothing. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Batman has always been my favorite superhero, and I'm a very hard defender, like Nazar, in this community of the Tim Burton Batman movies, but I love this one as well. This movie's great. I love this trilogy. It's so fantastic. It's very grounded, unlike the other ones. But I still enjoy the shit out of them.
Jack, is there a Joker moment in particular that sells you?
I mean, yeah, honestly, like everyone loves the interrogation scene with Batman, but the first scene, I mean, it's kind of the first scene where you really get to see Joker the whole time is the magic trick, the pencil trick with
Agreed.
I remember 13-year-old Jack just like chills that entire scene. Such a great moment.
I think because it balances like the humor and the scariness at the same time, and you just don't know where this villain's going to be coming from the whole time. And that's scary, is like when it's just half grounded in reality, because there's these people that could really do these sorts of things. So, Jack, coming out with a bang, love it. Thank you for joining us today, now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
A choice like you expect to see, but I wanted to like say in the beginning, like that's not like, I think that's an amazing take. Like this, it holds up. I know we talk about it a lot, but I think there is absolutely a reason we still talk about it a lot, because it's amazing. Mike, let's bring someone in.
We got Diaz.
I love that we can keep seeing you, Dal. We don't see the orange anymore. We can see you here. How are you going today?
Doing good. Happy Halloween weekend for everybody.
Very much. So who's your favorite Batman villain?
So I love we talk about, I love Harley Quinn a lot.
Yeah.
I don't go with the one that I think should get more love. Much I love the animated team. Much I love Margot Robbie. I love Kelly Coco portrayal of Harley Quinn on the Harley Quinn animated show so
Fair.
much. I think she's very funny. She's very tragic at times. She killed Penguin in second season. Like that one, the moment that took you by surprise. And then she also made you feel sorry for her. Like I don't love her relationship with Poison Ivy. I think it's one of the best couple animated things. And I think Coco brings so much humor and warmth to the character that she made me die laughing a lot whenever I watch this episode of the show.
Love it. I was thinking Harley Quinn as well, because that's definitely like a great female Batman villain. We get a few really awesome female Batman villains because we don't get a lot of good female villains, period. So Harley Quinn being one of those. I'm very, very partial to the Deanie Tim style, like the animated series style and the Mad Love comic and all that. That's very much I love that design and character. But I'm keen to watch the Harley Quinn show because I like that we've got to see her outside of Joker now. And I know that was a really big run in the comics as well. It's like Harley outside of Joker is really important to start seeing. Mike, what do you think of Harley Quinn?
Yeah, my sister's obsessed with Harley Quinn, so I also was heavily involved with reading a lot of Harley Quinn stuff, watching the animated series, the Batman animated series. I have not checked out the actual Harley Quinn animated series yet, but I'm very curious on that.
Like, it made you fall in love with the Harley and Poison Ivy relationship so much in the show.
Ah, okay.
Love it. Chris, thanks for coming on and giving us your answer today.
Welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
Starting off with a Harley and Joker double feature, like the way it's Mike, let's bring someone on.
We got Jeremy.
Hey.
How you going, Jeremy?
I'm good.
Now,
How
you're
you?
one of the people I thought, I'm like, I really hope Jeremy comes on and gives me his answer because I know that for like our dancing scenes, you gave us Joker before. So who's your favorite Batman villain and why?
Well, for me, being such a big Batman fan, it's hard to pick one or even one version of one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I grew up with the animated show, like a lot of guys, like a lot of people. And I love David Warner's Ra's al Ghul. Like he comes on, and when he says detective, like the way he dresses him, I mean, he's so regal and evil at the same time. You know he's coming back. Like you can't get rid of him. But there's always like a kind of a sense of respect to the character, like a little bit of class. He's not insane, even though he wants to destroy the world, I guess. That's a very Batman way to connect things. Like he's not crazy. He wants to kill everybody, but he's still not insane. You know, that's a very Batman methodology. But yeah.
What is your take? Because the Ra's al Ghul storylines, I love always reading like the comic, like or reading about like what they've done in the comics and whatnot. Because this it's something very outside of Batman. Whereas like you think of classic Batman as Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, like those really cartoony villains. But this with the League of Shadows and even just introducing Talia al Ghul and showing Batman as a man, I always find something to be, it's really its own thing. What is your take on Talia al Ghul and then like Damian Wayne and things like that? How do you feel like what they did with the character in that regards?
Yeah, I mean, I think it humanizes Batman. They can use Ra's al Ghul as a guy who knows he's not a bat. He's not a monster. He's not falling for any of the gimmicks or the tricks. And then depending on which, storyline you're looking at, he helped teaching those tricks, right? In Batman Begins, that's the origin for it. But every time they say Roz in that movie, I die a little. I hate it. Every time they say Roz and they do the switcheroo at the beginning, it's just, ugh. But anyway, but yeah, it makes him a person as much as some mythological superhero. When he's dealing with those people, he has to be Bruce Wayne. He's not really Batman anymore. And I think that's what makes it interesting.
Absolutely. We get to see that duality of the character. Mike, what's your thoughts on Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah, he's actually one of my favorite parts of the animated series. I absolutely love the storylines they do with him. It's fantastic. It's a great choice for sure.
Oh, I love it. Jeremy, thank you for coming on and giving us your answer today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah. Love it. I love like we're seeing different dimensions of Batman, what makes Batman, hitting on the Bruce Wayne stuff. Like definitely a character that's well known to do that is Catwoman. Didn't even think of it today. Because we see that she's starting to really write that like anti-hero. Like I have no input to this. And thank God Kelly didn't make me sit through the movies. She could read it by herself. Wow. on blast already. It's 8:30 in the morning and Jane chose violence today. Catwoman is definitely someone that's written that half hero, half villain. We see her like helping out Bruce as much. I want to take this time to sort of bring up like the Arkham games as well. I think that's always something that really is so good at showcasing the villains. The Asylum in the first one is the first time I was really scared of Scarecrow. I really love what Cillian Murphy brings in Batman Begins. I think like you've chosen the right actor to give you those creepy moments.
Yeah.
But being affected by the Scarecrow gas and things like that, I'm like, oh, this really fucks you up. So that one. And I was thinking the other day, I hate water levels in games. The water temple have so many save files in Ocarina of Time of just stopping at the water temple. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the water, like Mario, don't give me any of that World 4 shit. I hate it. So in Arkham Asylum, hey Jay, jump in the link. If you haven't jumped on yet, please jump behind scenes. Give us your answers. We've got a lot of people in the chat. Not everyone's jumped on yet. I want to see as many different villains celebrated as possible. Killer Croc, not a character that I think works super well in a lot of contexts, but in Arkham Asylum, when you were standing on that rickety-ass platform and he coming at you and you don't know where he coming from, that shit freaked me out. I hate it, but it was great. Mike, who we got?
Well, we've got another return here.
Yay!
Jake himself.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Jake, how are you doing this morning, love?
I'm doing great. I'm not hungover, which is why I'm here. You know? The last few times I've been out Friday night and I couldn't be able to be here, but I am here. I'm finally back.
Yeah. No, don't lie. The power got to you and you're like, don't need late shift anymore. I've hosted. It's a
let's go with that. That's canon now. Yeah. It's canonical.
Jake, who's your favorite Batman villain and why?
It's a bit of a two-parter, but it's the same character. I have always loved the Riddler. The Riddler is just like, he's my favorite Batman villain. I've always just been like a fan of him and just like the idea behind the Riddler. I was obsessed with Jim Carrey's performance in Batman Forever as a kid. I thought it was the best thing I'd ever seen. I wanted to be him as a kid for Halloween. Never got that chance, unfortunately. Was obsessed with the Riddler and that movie for a very long time. But then as I became a teenager, I started playing games. And Arkham City, Batman Arkham City is one of my favorite games of all time. In my top 10. Absolutely fantastic. The Riddler in that game is just perfect. They basically turn him into the jigsaw killer where he has a bunch of hostages. You have to find his riddles around Arkham City. There's all the riddles that you have to find, and then there's these like traps that you have to solve and these puzzles. It's all so intricate and just well designed, and it's such a frustrating thing when you want 100% that game because there is so many riddles. I have yet to complete it, but I've gotten so close. It's just those fucking riddles because you have to like scan parts of the city to like answer the riddle, and I'm just like, I don't fucking know. So at this point, I'm probably just gonna have to just look online.
What console did you play on?
PS4.
So I
had the remaster with Asylum. They had like the 2 Game of the Year.
Oh, the double pack.
Yeah.
Nice. I played on Wii U, which was really cool because you had the tablet.
Yes.
So on one hand, like it's a bit clunky to do things, but then for scanning the city and stuff, you would like put your tablet like that, you know, and you would be able to do the camera and you'd have the things on it. So I only played it for the first time, I think last year before, and really enjoyed it. So I still need to play. What's the third one? Is it Night with the tumbler?
Arkham Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Michael's been on my case about that for ages. Like I've got to get into that. Jim Carrey, I really have a soft spot for anyone that loves what I call like the original 4, like the Batman Returns Forever, Batman and Robin, because like I just remember watching that to death on VHS and DVD, like all those, even just like one after the other. Like that is a good movie marathon there. Like that's a fun weekend. I
had a double DVD pack of Forever and Batman and Robin, and my mum could attest to this. I would watch one after the other every day of my life for like a good 4 or 5 months. I was that obsessed with the Schumacher films where I would just constantly watch Forever and Robin. I've seen those movies up to 50 times, like to be completely honest. It's weird that I was just really a big fan. But like with Forever, it was Jim Carrey and just like his chaotic performance as the Riddler. Whereas
I was going to ask, is
I
there a
wanna be-
particular moment from that one?
I
from
really love
Jim Carrey?
like the riddles that he gives out to Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Like that sort of like there's the one where it's like it's his face and the answer is cloth.
Yeah.
It's just like really good stuff. And then it turns out the answer is his name because the Riddler is such an egotistical maniac that he will reveal in these riddles who he is. But also just love when he goes into like he like almost destroys Batman. It's like he destroys the Batcave, he destroys the Batmobile. Like he has these like question mark duck bombs that he just throws around. Like just his performance is just really like great. Like it's physical and it's just the way he moves around. It's Jim Carrey. Like it's just you expect him to go like 11 out of 10 in that. Also just like he's just I also just love the green and the costume and the way he turns the bat signal into the question mark. Just king shit to me.
That movie made me love Bad Days by the Flaming Lips for that scene.
Oh yes, when he's like, and this is a partner.
Yeah. But
Good
at the
song
end
as
as well, when he's in the asylum and the Nicole Kidman, Chase Meridian comes in, it's like,
because she's chasing men.
Oh god! When she's like, "Who is Batman?" and he leaps from the side of his cell with the sheets and goes, "I am Batman."
Yeah.
That shit haunted my nightmares forever.
He doesn't die. He's still there in the universe. It's canon. He's there. Yeah.
Jake, thank you for coming on and giving us your answer today. That was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jake.
Mike, who we got?
We got Spence.
We got Spence.
Yes.
How you doing today, love?
I thought it was me lying for 10 minutes. This is great.
Who's your favorite Batman villain and why, Al?
So I'm gonna give a small hot take. I have 2 picks. Sort of the same thing. Number 1 is Zack Snyder. Number 2 are Batman fans.
Yes! Go for it.
Genuinely. I think like obviously like a lot of people who love Batman are like these edgelords of just like, oh, it's so dark and gritty and serious. Man, this guy's parents fucking died. It's fight crazy people. And I think a lot of like modern comic book like movies, but also just book fans are so focused on the seriousness, they lose the fact that this is a grown ass man in like spandex with 2-foot tall ears. Like that's just crazy. Like some of the best Batman to come out in the past decade have been the comedy ones, like Harley Quinn or like a Batman movie.
Lego,
are amazing.
Batman Brave and Bold, absolutely.
Exactly. And I think that people are so self-obsessed in like the serious, gritty, I want my edgy movies. I need all of my Jokers to be like heroin addicts who are like screaming like crazy. Like that's not. I don't understand the self-seriousness that the fans have to marry. That honestly, it could ruin a lot of modern adaptations. Like the goofy shit was in Dark Knight Rises. Everyone bullied fucking Nolan, and he dropped out of the DCEU because of it. And now we have the Batman, which I think the Batman's fucking great. It's way too long. It's way too self-serious, and they have to have all these. I don't know. I think the tone of Batman needs an overall like rework or retire the character for 20 years. It's overdone to hell.
I absolutely love this point because I couldn't agree more. The best thing about Batman is that there's a Batman for everyone. There's a story for everyone, and whether that's dark and gritty, and like that's not new. Like we've had like the Grant Morrison Asylum stuff for ages, you know. But
Right.
then if you go back even further, like I still think there's a place for like 60s Adam West Batman, and I still love the shit out of that, and the Batusi and holy whatever Batman. Like Batman should still be bringing whatever you want from him. Like is it joy or is it seriousness? Like it's the range of it. Mike, what are your thoughts on Batman fans as the Batman villains?
I do agree that especially ever since the Nolan trilogy, they have gone the darker route for the majority of the time for Batman-led stories, and I do want to see the return of more a lightheartedness to Batman, because even with the Tim Burton ones, it is dark, but there is that light to it that you get. Especially in Returns.
And it's super horny. Like, what Batman is that horny?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So I definitely
or like
agree with
campy with the bat signal light and Michael Keaton look like. I love it.
Like modern Aquaman, like finds that balance where it's like, oh, it's super self-serious, but he's a badass, he's fucking hot as shit. And then it's also like you go to Peacemaker where it's like, hey, you fuck fish, fuck you, Barry. Like it's like there is fun to be had there.
Yeah.
Batman has none of that subtlety, and I don't understand it.
Love it. And give us a quick point on Zack Snyder.
Dude, come on. He's killing people. You don't understand Batman. If you're like, yep, fucking murder. Like, I don't know.
Nope. Well said. That's all that needs to be said about it. I love it. Spence, thank you for coming on and giving us your answers today.
All right, back to work. Yeah.
Enjoy work. More range of answers. I was actually going to say at the top of the show, I'm like, anyone that comes on and gives a coherent argument about how Batman is his own worst enemy, like, I will love you forever. And you can point to, like, Tower of Babel or the first 25 minutes of the Killing Joke movie. Like, and I will love it. Like, bring someone on.
We got Tuig.
You too. How you doing today, love?
Hi. Doing good. How are you?
Good. You look snug as a bug in a rug. You
Yeah.
look comfy. Who's your favorite Batman villain and why?
Recency bias, and in order to say something that probably no one else has said, Lulu the guinea pig from DC League of Super Friends.
Outside the box. Love it. Long shot choice.
She's not even really a Batman villain, but like Batman's there.
Yeah. What? I can't argue with that. Batman's fucking there, and it's a villain in there.
I guess I'll just use this time to talk about how much I loved this movie, but there's a turtle named Merton, who is maybe the best character in a movie in the last 10 years.
I have not watched this. I have seen the trailers for it for weeks on end when I was going to see all the princess ones. So this gets a big two-week recommend. Like, I need to sort this shit out.
Especially, I feel like you need to.
Okay. I'm excited for all scenes with the turtle now.
Oh my god! Like I fell in love with this turtle like immediately.
More about Lulu though. Why is she a great villain?
She's funny. She's like overly powerful. She like straight up captures the entire Justice League. Like, not to spoil anything, but like she captures the entire Justice League and forces like the pets to fight her. But like she just takes down like Superman, Batman, and Aquaman, and all these people. Like no problems. And like she's funny. Like Spence was talking about in their coherent argument. Black Adam can kill people, but he's an anti-hero. Yeah, it was just I just had a fun time. And Batman was there, and Batman added a lot to the film. So I'm definitely cheating with this answer, but like, yeah, if anything, if you get anything out of this, go watch that animated film that I procrastinated watching.
We need to go watch DC Superhero Pets. It's got the recommend.
It's a great.
Okay. So I have not seen it yet, but that was amazing. Mike, have you seen it yet?
I've not seen it yet. I was actually supposed to watch it like 2 weeks ago, and then I just didn't. So now I gotta do it now.
This turtle, man, I'm telling you, like,
I'm very excited for a turtle.
Great stuff.
I'll let you know when I see it. Nick, thanks for coming on and giving us your answer. In the pantheon of Batman villains, add Lulu the guinea pig, hamster, whichever one it is.
Yeah, guinea pig.
Mike, bring someone on.
Hey!
Good, Jay. How you
What's
doing?
going on, guys?
Oh my god, look at the bat phone behind you and everything.
Loving the back.
Batman and Joe Mama. So like, let's be real here. It was the only Batman one I could find real fast.
Love it. So, Jay, who's your favorite Batman villain and why?
It's gonna be weird because I don't know if it's been said or not yet. Mr. Freeze is actually my favorite Batman villain. Heart of Ice made me fall in love with this character. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like that first villain from my childhood where like I actually felt sympathy for him. So I've always kind of loved the sympathetic villain route. Plus watching him grow, not only from Batman the Animated Series, but in the comic books and even in the video games where he gets a little bit, it's great to see because he's not necessarily a bad guy. He's just been forced to do bad things. And I love that shit because he's not completely evil. He had a reason for doing everything it is that he did. Plus ice puns.
Oh, absolutely. Nice. Let's go. Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought up Heart of Ice because I remember loving Fat Man or Batman in the Day and Paul Dini, talking about developing that character. And it does, because I don't remember it from the 66 or anything earlier to that. Like, I've never really delved deep into the character. So I'm guessing it's just coming from just stock standard, I'm here to destroy the city So to give them that sympathetic edge and the wife and Nora Freeze, and even then we get to see it somewhat in the 97 in Batman and Robin, you know, it's still there.
I mean, they didn't really have a whole. I mean, Batman didn't really have a whole lot of villains with depth to them.
Yeah.
Like they were as deep as like a teaspoon, and now you get just a little bit more. And like this is the one that they kind of decided to build the foundation on. And I know like the Joker is his main villain. Don't get me wrong, Mark Hamill is the greatest Joker of all time. You will never fucking see me anywhere near like, oh no, that's not true. That is 100% true. That is a fact. That is just. But like Mr. Freeze, also the guy's got like 18 doctorates. Can we give this man some respect though? Like he's a doctor.
Can work with Bruce on that intellectual level, whereas a lot of other ones are very zany, very outside the box. Like Freeze is cool, calm, collected, for like a better way to like he's very methodical in what he's doing, and that's just great to see as well, because that's something we would usually see from like a Doc Ock or like a Spider-Man villain. Like so to see that in the Batman universe is pretty cool too. Mike, what are your thoughts on Mr. Freeze?
Oh, I love Mr. Freeze. I love the fact that that he is sympathetic, and bringing up what Jake said earlier about the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, a lot of his villains were sympathetic. They weren't always a bad guy, and you don't get that a lot with the Batman villains, but with Freeze you did, and I think that was a great way to go about it.
Love it. Jay, thank you for coming on and giving us your answer today, love.
Appreciate you for having me.
Thank you, Jay.
I love that we like no double ups. Like everyone's got something different. Everyone can point to a different era of what they really like. Mike, I don't know if you know, but like we've got free chat. Like I am a girl. Know. Like you are free to chat to me now. Like, Mike, would you like to bring someone on and you can deal with that?
Yes.
Thank you, darling. We got Brian.
Hi there.
It's
going
good.
Brian? It's going good. Great to be back. Great to have the show back. Been a while.
Thank you, darling. Who's your favorite Batman villain and why?
I'm surprised it hasn't been brought up. I'm going with my favorite Joker and Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal.
From what?
The Joker.
But whose portrayal?
Joaquin.
Oh, Joaquin.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix. Sorry, darling.
It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. From Joker. So, okay, I've got so much overload. Like, I sometimes forget that this was a thing. Like, when we think Joker, like, it is just not high on my list. So please, like, enlighten me as to why this is your choice.
I love his portrayal of how the sense of madness he gets from, like, his wife, his mother used to work for Thomas Wayne, and, like, him, and yet becoming Robert De Niro's character in the movie, the whole menacing sequence.
Oh, absolutely. And other bits that I really liked, I mean, the iconic ones like the Down the Stairs and the talk show. Like, I love that that's sort of become a meme. Like, and I'm sick of pretending it's not. Are there any other moments from the film that you really enjoy, like the bus laughing scene or anything like that? Like, what other ones make this like the Joker?
Probably the whole like the hospital sequence with like him throwing the gun like in the hospital and then getting fired, and then his transformation to the Joker, and killing one of the friends who worked for him.
Yeah, and like I guess it's that unreliable narrator thing where we get to see like Zazie Beetz has like no clue who this person is, but we've just like imagined this whole life with her and things like that. I think that's a really cool, like getting inside the Joker's perspective, which sometimes we don't always get from Batman villain. Mike, what are your thoughts on Joaquin Phoenix Joker?
Yeah, I actually do like the fact that it's an unreliable narrator and how that progresses throughout the story. And it always cracks me up when he's in the apartment and he has killed the guy, and the little person is just like in the background trying to grab open the door, and he just can't do it, and he's getting so frustrated. Cracks me up every time. It's such a stupid joke, but it cracks me up every time.
Love it. Brian, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a chance today, Dad.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay. Yeah, Joker's so hard to like just summarize in one performance, you know, like, so I love that we're seeing multiple. I've also got a very soft spot for Jack Nicholson Joker, obviously.
Yeah.
Do I love what they did with like storyline wise? Maybe not so much, but it's still Jack Nicholson. It's still iconic. And then your Cesar Romero Joker, like back in the days one, and then Jay brought up Mark Hamill. Like there's a Joker for every occasion, so to speak, which is always really good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anyone hasn't been brought up. I would love to see more comic stuff. So a storyline I'm really dying to start seeing is Court of Owls and Talon and all that, because I love what Scott Snyder did with that run, and especially they touch on it a little bit. The Music Meister from Batman Brave and the Bold. I'm absolutely. Did you see the meme going around? It's like, who's ever watched an episode of a normal TV show and it's a musical episode and been excited for it? That's me. I'm that person. Any musical episode for anything, I'm fucking jazzed for. No pun intended. No, sorry, I intend my puns. I'm jazzed for it. But the Music Master one is good. And Batman Brave and the Bold has some actually really good songs with Birds of Prey. And, Alad, we need to get on this show, the Harley Quinn show. Because that's a storyline I really like to see, something different. I want to see Hush. I know that's maybe I've hated the great. I want to see Hush adapted properly. Now's a good time that I'm going to go on a tirade about the DC animated universe. If you have, Alad perked his head up. We've watched them all. We love it. Thumbs up from Alad. That's offensive nowadays. Going to mention, yes. So Poison Ivy, very character I love because, as I said, we don't get a lot of great female villains, and that's a strong contender. DC Animated Universe, if you have not started it yet, Garth, I've been waiting for you to jump in the chat, mate. Connor McKing, Clock King, Kite Man, anyone that was highlighted in Brave and the Bold especially, I love. DC Animated Universe. Mike, where are you at with the DC Animated Universe?
I've seen a lot of the earlier Batman-led ones, like Mask of the Phantasm, stuff like that. The newer ones, Nazario has sent them to me. I just have not watched them yet. But I need to get to them. I definitely need to get to them. Required
viewing is Under the Red Hood, especially.
Oh, yes, I've seen Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, the Dark Knight Returns is such a good two-parter one. It's not Batman specific, but it's got a good Batman story. My absolute most favorite would be Flashpoint Paradox, Forever and Ever.
Oh, that but
yeah, and even like the Justice League Dooms, how they translated the Tower of Babel storyline, which I always really enjoy. But these earlier DCAUs took a lot of really good storylines from the comics year one and things like that, and was able to make it quite palatable for in a movie version. Whereas nowadays, the later ones I don't love so much. As I said, I really hated what they did with Hush, so I want to see that character again because I find that fascinating. And I think what I always really enjoy and what Arkham Asylum games gives you is anytime there's like villain team-ups or villain pairings, I always love that. And to see the various villains of Gotham really interact with each other, because Gotham being such like a den for this kind of behavior and drawing all these people, Batman draws these people there and out. I think it's really good. And one last point I wanted to touch on is like anytime there's like they terrorize Bat family as well, not necessarily just Batman, it's Bat family. So I love the year one Batgirl and Robin comics. So you're seeing characters like Mad Hatter or Firefly or things like that. Like I'm seeing maybe those lesser Batman villains, but how do they deal with a Robin or a Nightwing and things like that. And I can't believe like we've talked about Joker so much and we haven't talked about Death in the Family, because like that shit, I could not believe that when I was like doing my deep dive into comics and finding Calendar Man, Polka Dot Man. Like I love these classic cheesy villains, and even nowadays when we get to see like them be reimagined. I could not believe the shit that I read when I found out that you could ring up to decide whether Jason Todd Robin lived or died in Death in the Family.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. I love it. And that's just that part of Batman history and why I think like that's just the be or end all of villains and superheroes, is because it gives you that interactivity with it all. Like it's been amazing. Catwoman, the Michelle Pfeiffer, meow. Like I love it. Iconic iconic portrayal. The Batman, the WB Batman, because this is what I brought up last week with funny cartoon characters, is that they were pumping out a lot of Batman cartoons at one point in the mid 2000s, and I lost track. Mike, is there anyone that we haven't brought up that interests you?
Oh yeah, one of my favorites, and it's because Tim Burton is a psychopath, and I love it. Is fucking Danny DeVito as Penguin, because Tim Burton hears Penguin and he goes, "He has to be a fucking penguin," and I went, "Yes, let's fucking go."
That was the shit of nightmares when he would like bite into the fish and all the like congealed black blood would like
biting the dude's nose off.
the biting the nose. The duck boats, like fucking why? Why the duck boat?
And of course, Pee Wee Herman as his dad is also fucking classic. Like everything about it is just insane in the best way.
Yeah, I love that meme that goes around. It's like the classic penguin, and Tim Burton's like, no, but it needs to be a penguin.
It needs to be an actual penguin.
The other one that scares the absolute fucking shit out of me is Mr. Zsasz. Especially in Arkham City when he was gonna like, Jake knows what I'm going to be talking about. Like when you had to reach that phone booth, and yeah, just something about that Mr. Zsasz character is just too creepy for me. Like just too grounded in reality. Oh god, the 900 number. That's so cool. But I love that they brought that character back in such a unique, cool way, and the phone calls exactly. So yeah. Absolutely. Guys, this was an amazing show. Thank you for joining us today. As always, so grateful for anyone that jumps on the call, jumps in the chat. Like, it's always so much. Victor Zaz, thank you. It's always so much fun to see who you guys are going to bring up. All the different ones. Like, it's you never know how the show is going to go. So like, you guys really do make it. Mike, any final words?
Basically, thanks for sticking with us. I know that we take a little small break here, but it's been a good break, and I'm glad to be back. And it looks like you guys are happy that we are back because we have a shitload of people watching.
Yeah. So next fortnight, because we do house party next week.
Yeah.
But then it's going to be same bat time, same bat channel.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. See you next.
Thank you, everybody.
And we're clear.